During the end of the church year, I've been looking back on the recent past, and we as a city, a parish, even as individuals, we've experienced ups and downs. We have good days and we have bad days. And as I ventured around the festival yesterday, I was struck at how we're all at different places in our lives, even as we share a common space. Take a slice of everyone at the festival yesterday, or in here. There's your sample of blessings and woes. One person has had the worst year of their life, the next person the best. For one, this year has been the most challenging year, while the person 2 pews over would say it's been a pretty ho-hum kind of year. Whether it's a church or a festival, it's full of people who sometimes have, who sometimes have not, but just trying to make sense of life. And I bring this up to make an important point. So much of what we internalize is specific to our context, right? What we're going through at the time, to put it bluntly. If I'm literally starving to death, or if I'm worried I'm about to be evicted, someone telling me I'll be comforted later does not remove the hunger pangs now. And this Jesus guy is telling me to hold on, to do the exact opposite of what the people in power are doing. We live in a common place. We share a common dialogue and prayer. And yet every person in here is at a different point along that spectrum of blessings and woes. Some of us are at church today to round out a great weekend. Some of us have had our homes filled with the sound of family and friends visiting, or will in a few weeks. But there are some of us who have experienced some of the worst of life this year. Those on the other side of joy. Those in fear of a knock on the door in the middle of the night. Those who wrestle with the idea of happiness. Those who sing Alleluia but still feel cold and broken. These are the people that may struggle with belief. Sound familiar? In this church, right now, there are people searching. There are people without a care in the world, and others that can only think of one thing these days. This space is full of people who are happy, depressed, hungry, angry, peaceful, nervous, bored, satisfied, and grieving at any given time. What Jesus does for us in this excerpt from Luke's Sermon on the Plain is to meet us where we all are right now, up or down, to call us into a shared space to receive God's message for everyone equally, and then to be sent out in encouragement as we live our lives. You can't always be on the mountaintop. Surprise! Your life will not always be blessings, much as you try to hold on to them. But be thankful for what you do receive and find ways to share those gifts with others. And yeah, you can't always be on the mountaintop, but in the same vein, life will not always be in the valley. Our lives will contain woes, much as it certainly feels like they might never end. So be open to receive the support when you find yourself in the valley, for no other reason than there are others who can remember exactly what their woe felt like for them. Now, I appreciate all these readings today because they're a curated selection for this All Saints' Day. You might call it a high and holy day. We break out the good china, get out the chasuble, for it's a special day indeed. On this feast, we celebrate that life is not the end. We celebrate our inheritance as recipients of merciful grace, that there is a bodily resurrection promised to each of us through our baptism. In fact, you might be surprised to know that the same day we commemorate all who have died, on All Saints and All Souls Day, is a great day for a baptism. It's true. All Saints is a day of paradox, full of paradoxes too, are Jesus' words. We celebrate life through death, but also death through life. With All Saints' Day, we honor the saints, but we also remember the departed. With Jesus offering blessings and woes in the gospel, we can even celebrate that God gets up into our business, gets involved in our lives, despite all the ups and the downs that life gives. God is the thread, God is the plumb line to put all of those life's extremes in context for you, even when you struggle to see that context clearly. Life is not all victories, nor is it all losses. Life is messy. Victories are won at great cost sometimes. Losses come out of nowhere to wreck our lives. But Jesus is present at the winner's circle, the same as if he's standing with you in the ashes that was once your home. Jesus is present at your baptism. Jesus is present at the mountaintop, in the valley, and at your death. Do you really think he's not around for all the other times? The Sermon on the Plain, this gospel reading from Luke, is a reminder of how there are things in this world, not of this world, that cannot be moved by this world. There are gifts available to us for which the events of our lives, of your lives, hold no sway. That no matter what happens and what we do, what we don't do, that these gifts await us where we are right now, this moment. They aren't waiting for you to get your act together. They aren't waiting for you to pay your bills, be sober. They meet you in those hard feelings, in those hard places. Those places you get about life, and still it says to you, all will be well. Those things, that gift is grace and mercy. That is love and encouragement offered to you by God, to the person with it all and the person who has lost it all, the one who has much faith and the one who has little, the one who knows these pews really well and the first-time visitor, the one who has lived with the ups and downs and doesn't do this life thing perfectly, but still shows up. You may be wondering, well, how can I find those gifts? That peace that passes all understanding. For me, it helps to focus my efforts on living into all aspects of life, good and bad. And even if I don't understand what's happening, it is a great comfort all the same to know that God is there with me. Because I hold a truth close in my heart. God is living. God is living and resurrected because he was first crucified and died. See, we need all of it in life. We need the good and the bad, the gain and the loss. That's what makes our life complete. Put it another way, and I'll close with this. There's no gospel without the living and the dead, without the crucified and the resurrected. There is no gospel without the blessings and the woes to make us aware of God's love and mercy. And that is what makes this day so paradoxical, really, but also so mystical and at the end of the day, so complete. Amen.